before Wolbach and Howe in 1925, there's some other papers that were, doing similar kinds of studies, trying to basically doing elimination diets on animals and then looking at the response of animals. And it's very suspect study to me because, vitamin A hadn't been chemically established until after those studies. So for how are they claiming that, these are vitamin A free diets when they don't even know how to kind of identify it? It really kind of, throws a lot of doubt onto their research. But anyway, what happens, Wolbach and Howe, they get a study going. I think they have 40 or 50 rats in this study, and they put them on what they believe is a purely vitamin A free diet, primarily based on, they've got starch, they've got some protein, they've got some salt, and they've got Vegemite to provide some of the, I think, B vitamins, I guess. And what happens in this study within, I think 6 to 8 weeks, like most of their animals are either dead or dying or, incredibly sick. And that study was the original study that proved that in the medical literature that vitamin A is this essential vitamin and you'll go blind without it. And so I started to dig into that study and say, well, hold on, this makes absolutely no sense to me just based on, common sense. And what I figured out was in all of these early studies, and even quite modern day studies on rats, there's and that rat is the de facto model used in medical research for testing pharmaceuticals and all kinds of other things. So early on, they used casein in the diets of the rats, and what they did is they sterilized the casein. So they boiled it in alcohol and then boiled off the alcohol to sterilize it, and this was the protein source for the animals. But what they didn't know at the time is that casein actually, it encases the vitamin A molecule. And so vitamin A is inside of the casein. So one, their diets were not vitamin A free diets. They were actually quite a lot of vitamin A. But the interesting thing about vitamin A is if you heat it and oxidize it, you will convert it into retinoic acid. So you need this activation energy from chemical reaction point of view. And so what I believe they did is by heating and sterilizing the casein they used in the lab feed for these animals, they were basically poisoning them with retinoic acid, and this is why their animals died in 6 to 8 weeks.
This is Elwyn Robinson, and that was a clip from the Rejuvenate podcast. Remember to share this clip, like and subscribe, and you can watch full new episodes by subscribing to my YouTube channel or Rumble channel, or by subscribing to the Rejuvenate podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.